What's going on, people? Welcome to a live match preview, player ratings, Palace news, all combined in one. We're basically talking everything to do with Palace. Quick turnaround. We haven't done the ratings. We have to preview the game as well as talk about the news. So let's see how quickly we can get through all of this. But as always, even if you're watching a replay, please drop a like, subscribe, and most importantly, get involved in the live comment section or in the comment section down below. Joined by Louis here again. Everyone is enjoying holidays. Everyone's enjoying holidays, apart from us.
Yeah,
we're still talking about Palace. We're still talking about Palace. But how are you doing, anyways?
yeah, I'm all good, man. Just reflection. I haven't even really watched back highlights because it was a painful watch already, and I think 3 minutes is probably just 3 minutes of Bournemouth chances.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I haven't watched no highlights either. We had our chances as well, but it's like that game is over, done with. It's not like a game that I want to go back to and be like, oh yeah, cool. Like I want to watch the highlights for the Bournemouth game. I know some people probably watched the whole game again. There are people like that.
Patrick.
Yeah, Patrick's probably done his. Yeah, Patrick's probably done his whole notes. He's watched the whole game again. He knows that. Yeah, but Patrick's enjoying. I doubt it because he's enjoying his holiday with his family, which is good. So Palace hopefully is not distracting him too much. But yeah, Southampton. We'll get to that. We'll get to the Southampton game. I know it's a Southampton preview as well, people. But we're going to quickly give our ratings, but it's going to be like the quickest player ratings out there. We're just going to give like numbers rather than settle down and talk about each individual player because that game is done. We've got the Southampton game. Plus, we've got news. We've got news to cover as well. So please hit the like button. It does help us out massively. If you are watching this, that would be much appreciated. And just like Anna was saying, just want to forget about that game. Let's quickly get through the ratings and then we can all forget about that game and look forward to the Southampton one. Let's start off with Henderson in goal. Made a few saves. I'm going to go with 7.
7, clean sheet, no bad mistakes. Didn't really feel uneasy with him. 7, yeah. Cool.
Yeah. Munoz. Got beat quite a couple times, but you got involved in attack as well. I'm going to go for 7.
7. I'm going to go Munoz 5.
5.
Had a big chance for us. Probably our best chance. Didn't score. Lacked quality in the final third. Got beat by Semenyo quite a bit, and I think Kirkes was all over him. Kirkes showed us how a proper fullback should play in the Premier League.
You know what's funny? I skipped like the centre backs and I went to Munoz. That's how quickly I want to get this player ratings done with. We're going to go back to the centre backs. Let's finish off with Mitchell as well. Tyreek. Yeah, 5. That's me being nice in the spirit of holidays. I actually 4.5, man. I can't be too nice. Even that feels. I don't know. I just feel like he gave away the ball way too much. Can you hear me still?
Yeah, it keeps cutting out a little bit.
Okay, yeah, he's cutting out on my screen for you as well. So I don't know if it's like a connection issue. But yeah, Tyreek 4.5. I gave him. What are you giving him? If you can hear me still.
Tyreek's getting a 3 from me. 3. I thought it was one of his poorest performances of the season. We know what level we can hit. We'll go into what Glasner's comments was saying later today, but he did say his defending is always second to none. But yeah, he gave the ball away 17 times. It was just it was a bit of a hard watch, if I'm being honest.
A bit is a nice word to say, to be fair. Yeah, it was a hard watch. It was a hard watch, especially in possession. All right, cool. Centre backs. Let's not even like add any comments. Let's just quickly do the ratings. Chalobah 5. I was not confident. Actually, I'm not. I just said don't add any comments. Chalobah 5. Lacroix 7. Gahey 6.
I'll go Chalobah 5, Lacroix and Gahey 8. They're the only reasons why we didn't concede. Maybe Gahey 7.5 for the yellow card, but I don't even think that was it. He booked the wrong person, I think. But yeah, I'll probably give Gahey and Lacroix 8.
I wasn't too sure about what do you call it. He's passing at times. Well, especially the build-up play. It was a bit weird that left-hand side. He went long. I guess he had to. There's no support there. Lerma, I thought he's very solid. Probably 7 as well from me. And then Hughes in midfield to wrap it up. He looked leggy, man. 6.
Lerma 6. Hughes 5.5. Hughes got a knock at half. Hadn't got a knock on his knee. Lerma was good, but his passing was poor.
Okay. And then got Eze and Sa. Eze, geez. 5.5. No, that's too harsh. I'm gonna give him 6. We're gonna give him 6. He wasn't good, but yeah, we still had that cross into the box for Munoz. Remember, he wasn't awful as well. So yeah, it was that much. And then
I'm gonna give.
Yeah, go on. You give Eze.
I'm gonna give a 4. I think it was a really poor performance. Our defense done their job. Our attackers didn't.
And then Sa, I'm going to give him. He was a bit of a ghost in the second half, to be fair. 6 as well. 6 as well.
I'm going to give Sa a 5. He didn't use his pace effectively. That offside run annoyed me a bit as well. It's like it was a bit of a clueless run. And the second half, he didn't touch the ball.
Yeah, and JP, he didn't do much, did he? How many touches did he have? He had like 33 touches. But yeah, he didn't really have services. Expected goals is 0.03, nothing. I think that's probably from that shot from outside the box in the first half. Probably give him a 5, just an average game. Not really his fault if he didn't have any service, but yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah, 4.5 for me.
Yeah. Do you want to talk about anyone on the bench? I mean, I want to get Southampton. Quickly,
Decore. Nice to see. Yeah, I'll give Czech a 6 because it was tough to come on in that game. I thought he was quite assured.
And he looked good. I thought Decore looked better than he has in previous sub appearances. I'm going to give him 6.5. But look, that's it. We went maybe a bit longer expected, but that's their rating. Done and sorted. Covered that. Now Southampton. This is where you look forward. Enough of the past. Time to look forward, people. What are we saying about this game? I'll be honest. I said it after the match reaction as well. It might sound a bit negative, but that's how I feel. That's how I feel right now. In terms of, like, I'm not going to get over. Like, we should be beating Southampton, yes, but I'm not going to get over the moon to beat Southampton. As long as we don't lose, I'll be fine. The reason why I'm saying that is I think we will beat them. Is because it's not going to nothing. I don't think the season's going to change with a win over Southampton. It's like I understand where people might come from thinking I'm negative for it, but the reality of the situation is we're going to be inconsistent. We're going to struggle to get results. There's going to be a lot more draws than wins this season until we bring in players. So then I'll start getting excited about the rest of the season. But for me, I expect us to be Southampton. So it's not like I'm like massively looking forward to the game and saying, oh, I think we should win. I think we will win. But even if it's a draw, I'm probably not gonna cry over it, to be fair. Where do you stand?
Yes, for me it's a must win, in the sense of we need a win before the transfer window opens. No excuses really. Southampton are very poor. I expect an Ipswich type performance, probably more efficient than like, how do I say it? That we're not going to turn up and roll them over and look like a top 6 team. But I'll take a 2-0 scrappy win. Either way, I want to win going into the transfer window.
Apparently, it has some decent chances against West Ham, so I don't think it's going to be an easy game. The unfortunate thing for us is that they've got a new manager, so that new manager bounce technically should be in play from here onwards. So it's going to be. I don't think it's going to be as straightforward, but I think we've got enough to cause them trouble and to score goals. To be fair, against Southampton, I just think this squad has got a ceiling. And that ceiling is not like, not being able to beat Southampton. We can do that. We beat even Ipswich. The ceiling is that realistically, if you want to push higher up the table and start being a bit more comfortable and start looking up, we need to get consistent wins. And for me, it's a struggle right now to see where those consistent wins can come from with us lacking the depth. and the quality that we know that we need to improve on in January window. So that's why, like, my stance for Southampton game, it's a game I'm looking forward to watching Palace play, but I'm more looking forward to January the 1st, the start of a new year, the start of the transfer window, and to start seeing some of the names that, you know, that could be coming to the football club, because I think that could change our season rather than one individual game. Because let's say the worst case scenario happened, right? And let's say we lost to Southampton. Yeah, that would be like terrible. Not even a bit. That would be terrible because of where we are in the league, and especially with Wolves winning their game. I do think, for example, it's not the end of the world if that happened, though, because I think if we do bring in new players, then we will win more games down the line, because this squad ain't bad. It's just lacking the balance. It's lacking one or two positions that disrupts us massively. Whether that's a wing back that's not providing the width that we need, or whether that's another number 10. But these are like one or two positions that we need to strengthen, and then afterwards, not only do I think we can beat the likes of Southampton, we'll be able to beat other teams. So it doesn't really concern me about relegation concern, but I understand the concerns. I understand that this is like a must win for a lot of people. It should be a must win for Palace, but for me, a draw, I probably won't lose my mind over it, because I won't lose my mind over a win as well. I just know what happens.
I know it's weird, but like, I would love obviously a win is essential for me, must win game, but I would like a win that still shows our gaping holes, just to be a reminder, like, we won, but like, we can still see how bad it can be.
Do you think we need that? Surely the board knows already about.
Just another one more reminder before that window opens. One more reminder. Like it's I can't, like, we keep having this debate about the fullbacks and this and that, but I'm sick of having no depth. It's like it's just agonizing watching. Even like Glasner's 0-0 away from home. That game was there to be won. It was also there to be lost, but he looks to his bench and like, who's there? Like, every other team can look to their bench. Even Southampton, the quality isn't of our level, but they can still look to the bench and bring someone else on. We can't do that. That's why, hence, I think I saw a stat today, in Glasner's 35 games, or every time we've gone 1-0 down or we've started trailing, we haven't won one game, and we've only drawn about 5 of them, because we don't have the squad depth to change games. Whoever starts is that's the only way we're going to win.
And that's the thing, and that's why, like, that's how I feel towards this game, because it's like, if we win this game, that's fantastic. Like, I want us to win. I'm not like, you know, who doesn't want the team to win? I want us to win, but it's like, I'm not going to get carried away with a win. That's where I'm at. Like, I'm still going to be like, cool, we won this game, but realistically, if we want us to push forward, we still need to bring in players. So for me, like, now, the January window is massive in that regards, because we do need to strengthen. Look at the Bournemouth game. I know Nketiah was out injured, but in general, this Palace side is lacking quality and depth.
Injured.
We are in some key positions, and until that gets solved, what really is going to change for the season? I still think we got enough to stay up, because we've seen it. I mean, we've got less defeats than the likes of, I believe, Spurs, who are above us in the table. But the problem is, we can get results in terms of draws, which wouldn't surprise me, by the way, against Southampton. If we got a draw, it wouldn't. I think we should get a win, and we will get a win. But it wouldn't surprise me, because that's where this Palace side is at right now. Like, we're not awful because we've got a good defense that we can build on. But going forward, we have to be clinical, and we have to make sure everyone plays kind of 9 or 8 out of 10 for us to create them chances, because we don't have that many players in terms of creative players going forward. So I think that's the problem that we have. And until that changes, regardless of a win or whatever happens against Southampton, this will be the story of our season. That's what I've come to note to. Anna was saying Southampton new manager bounce potentially. He should look at the bench and see fit players or replacing Naka players. Even in this game, in terms of rotations, we'll talk about what Oliver Glasner said. This is all from Bobby Manzi. Are you expecting rotations against Southampton? Because yes, they are bottom of the table, and I think they picked up 6 points. But you know, West Ham still struggled to beat them. Apparently, on another day, Southampton could have scored a few more goals.
West Ham, I think, are a really poor team. I think they gave up so many chances against Wolves. Also, Southampton did score a couple against Liverpool, so they do have a threat. I was just looking at Tim's comment about how big an opportunity is this match for Doucouré. I think if you're going to start him, I think this is the game to start him in. He might have no choice because Hughes got a knee injury, so maybe Doucouré and Lerma. I think if Doucouré can find some form or fitness, that's a game changer for us. Rotation wise, like I said, we always go through it. It's like who's fit to play. Me, I'd like to see rotation. I would like maybe, like we said, not drop Eze and Mateta, but maybe rotate them, and then like we do have players that can come off the bench and change the game. If we're being honest, we should have players that can beat Southampton who aren't starting, hence Kamada and Ketia, etc. They should be able to beat Southampton. And these players are never going to get any form unless they get a chance. So for me, there needs to be rotation. And if Glasner feels like there's no rotation, I'm going to back him. But yeah, I don't
rotation,
know what you guys in the
comments
think.
This is where it gets a bit tricky.
Richards is going to come in anyway.
Can we drop Mateta? Because if Nketiah's got the flu, by the way, the flu is nasty. I've said it how many times. I've got a bit of it.
Yeah.
Thankfully, I'm like, I haven't gone to that stage of like getting all the symptoms. I'm trying to stay as fit as possible. But if he's got the flu, you don't get over the flu in like 3 days' time, because he was clearly based on the
Christmas flu.
I don't know. Maybe it might be the Christmas flu, but I know there's been a flu that's going around. But like he was available before the game. Like that was the sense that we got. So this must have happened recently, and I don't know how he's going to feel after 3-4 days. Do you get it? Like I don't know if Nketiah will be 100%, but it might be a case of putting Sarr up front, maybe starting Kamada. But for me, Mateta is reaching that point now where he's getting a bit leggy. Because we're relying on him a lot. But then again, you're facing Southampton at home, and it's a game which a lot of people, even in the chat, are saying that we need to be winning. So do we even have the opportunity to rotate up front? Because I think Doucouré still has a potential to be better than his replacement if he reaches the levels that he has. I know he hasn't so far this season, but it was a bit more positive against Bournemouth. But it's going to be hard for someone to replicate what Mateta's been doing to the side because we just haven't got a striker as good as him. So I guess it gets a bit more tricky. I'm looking at him. Chris Richards, of course, will come in. Yeah. Mitchell has to start because we're in the same dilemma of if Mitchell doesn't start, who plays. So it's like I think certain positions like midfield, yes, we should be making rotations. I think Doucouré should be starting this game. But up front, I don't know. I don't know what he can really do. He puts Sarr up front. Does he have faith in Sarr to start from the first minute to the 90th minute up front by himself? Because Sarr's been doing it well with Mateta. Would it be different him playing up front? I don't know. I don't know by himself.
But if we play Sarr up front, there has to be a tactic change in the sense that he can't hold the ball up like Mateta can. So there will have to be a change in the way we play. There will have to be change in the patterns of play. Obviously, if anyone can do it, Glasner can figure it out. I see a few people saying they don't really want rotation or we won't rotate because we have to win this game. Yeah, I understand that as well. But if the players if the players are at 50%, then I'd rather play a lesser player who's at 100% than a player who can't run. Glasner's whole ethos and style of play is based on high press, high energy. You can't do that at 50-60%. You become a liability.
We can't. That's the biggest mistake that you can make. Just to stick to names and say, all right, Eze's fit enough to play, but it's not 100%. Or let's play Eze 50%. Or let's play Mateta 40%. Like, we can't do that. We can't do that. It hasn't worked. Eze, we've seen it. He struggled. Whether he got dropped against Arsenal, whether he was rested, I don't know. I don't know exactly. Glasner said that he had a knock even before this game. He's saying that he should be good for it, but he has a knock going. We've seen it. If a player's not 100%, you're not going to see the best. It doesn't matter if his name is Mateta. You're not going to see the usual Mateta. Or you're not going to see the usual Will Hughes, for example. Hughes looked a bit knackered as well. And we've been raving on about, can you even drop Hughes at some point this season? But that's the thing. You have to have a squad to rotate because of the demand of football. Not only just the demand of football that we can play at times, but the amount of games. You're looking at injuries. You're looking at, for example, the likes of Saka for Arsenal. He's been run to the ground. And that's why they're paying the price right now, because they didn't rotate properly. You just can't expect. I know they earn hundreds of thousands a week, etc. But they're human beings. They need to be managed properly.
Yeah.
So we need to try and make the use of the squad. So I get what you're saying. We shouldn't rotate because we have to take this game seriously. But we might need to rotate to take this game seriously, because I don't want to go out there with players who are 50%. Because that's not going to help us to beat Southampton. I need players out there that are 100%, that are ready to go. Because like that, that's how you get the most out of your squad. And everyone's on the same wavelength. So let's see. Puppy saying Saar would make sense for an away game where we'd be hitting teams on a break. Give Eddie a chance up front. That depends on if Eddie's fit. I mean, if he is fit, then yeah, fair enough. But let's see what Glasner actually spoke about. He spoke about injuries today, but I don't think Bobby Manzi mentioned anything about Eddie Nketiah, did he?
I think it might be one of those situations where you have to wait till 10:30 to get the full. Because I think that might have been done at the Bournemouth press conference. I don't think it was its own press conference today. I'm not too sure.
I think it must be, man. The reason why I'm saying that is because he's live tweeted it.
Yeah.
I think
I'm not too
normally
sure.
on Friday they have the press conference anyways on a Friday around 1 p.m.
Yeah.
So
True.
It's just like, but I know what you mean though, because sometimes that's what they do, right? They do it after the game ends for the next game. But that game was on Thursday, so yesterday, right? Yeah. And then we still got today, like the usual press conference slot. Maybe that could be the case, but I'm not too sure. In terms of whether it was done today. I think it was done today. I think we may see Devaney start Sunday. He's done well since coming in. In terms of opportunities, and let's talk about before we go into the quotes that were released today. Anyways, let's talk about Nketiah and Kamada before we talk about Devaney, because it's just been this narrative, and of course, there's people in the chat that might have this opinion as well. But players are written off, man. Those two players are written off for quite a few people already. I'll start off with Nketiah, which I get why people are frustrated, but just to add a bit of context to it, yes, it's a £30 million signing, but how many games has he played up front for Crystal Palace? At 2? How many games he started up front for Palace? 1? I think it was against Forest.
Forest and Liverpool at home.
Forest and Liverpool at home. So 2 games
the other time, and he came on against Brighton and he played there and done well.
Yeah, he came on against Arsenal and he scored a goal up front. And against Brighton, he got an assist. And I thought him and Kamada impacted the game well. We need to, in my opinion, I think we need to stop writing off players that early, because I made that same mistake with Mateta. I think with Mateta is different because it was like £10 million rather than £30 million. But look how long it took Mateta to reach levels he's at right now. I guess Nketiah's got that plus of he's had the Premier League experience, but we're asking an awful lot of a player who, when he does come on, more time, he doesn't even come on his position. And 2, he hasn't even started that many games for Palace. He started about 6 games, and we're expecting him to be, I don't know, a striker that scores 4 or 5 goals already, or 6 goals, 7. I don't know what people are expecting, but with Nketiah and Kamada as well, because once again, people talking about Kamada, I don't think Kamada was awful. I don't think Kamada's been bad since the red card and since coming back. I think he's had positive impacts to games, and that's why, he's had more opportunities. But there's just, it feels like, I don't know about you, Louis, and maybe some people in the chat think like this, so you let me know why you think like this. But I feel like some people are written off too early.
Yeah. I say this all the time, but like it's going to be tough for Nketiah as well, because Mateta's been on form. They're a different style of play as well. Mateta holds up the ball well, and this probably suits Glasner's system more than Nketiah does. Kamada's come to a new league. Yeah, sometimes he doesn't look physically up to it. I think personally it's just the way he presses and he overcommits sometimes. But I feel like Kamada's been okay the last few games. We know football fans are fickle. They'll write people off straight away. I even see people tell it on Twitter saying Zaha wasn't that good for Palace. So
yeah, what's going on? I saw that. And I was thinking, what's going on? We're comparing Zaha to Eze, and I was like, Are we forgetting that this guy literally kept us up single-handedly for ages, like he did?
Yeah.
Like, why are we pretending he didn't? Why are we pretending Zaha and Eze are on the same level? No, Zaha without Wilf, we're probably not even a Premier League club. Like he I remember there was a season, I can't remember, or it might have been over a few seasons, where without Wilf, we didn't win a game when he wasn't playing.
But that's what I think. That's what I think we're used to as a team. We're seeing a player drag us. But quickly, with everyone in the chat, what would you prefer if we said it right now? A 60% Eze and a 60% Mateta, 100% Nketiah and 100% Kamada to play on Sunday. In that, Eze in the left 10, Mateta up front, both at 60-70%, or Nketiah and Kamada to play in those positions at 100%. Just put in the chat what you would rather.
Yeah, put it in the chat. Let me go through some comments. Tim saying everybody wanted Glenn Murray selling after his first season. Next season, damn near won the Golden Boot. And there's a question which I will answer. Twist is saying, what does Nketiah actually offer? I'm going to answer this. I'm going to answer this question, but I also want people who have the Nketiah doubts to think about this. If Eze was playing up front, would he be the same Eze? I know it's not really a good example because of how he's been playing the season, but Eze up front is a different Eze to Eze as a number 10. Like, Eze won't be able to play. I don't think he can play as a striker, for example. So if Nketiah's been playing as like a number 10 when he's meant to be a striker, think about it in that perspective. Can Doucouré play as a number 10? No. No, he can play midfield, for example. It does. You might think, all right, cool, central attacking mid, or striker, or central attacking mid, for example. It might not seem that far distance in terms of positions, but the expectations for those and what you're required to do, that's not Nketiah's game. He's not a creative number 10. He never was.
Yeah.
He's been brought in as a striker. Where we can look at and ask questions is, why did we sign him if we knew Mateta's going to stay? Like, it was a bit confusing in that regards. Maybe that was the case. But for me, I think if you look, that header against Arsenal, by the way, was absolutely fantastic. Like, it was crazy at home. It was. I do think there's a player in him, but I don't know when and how we will discover that player, because I don't see him starting over Mateta up front for games. Even when he was starting, remember at the start of the season, he was behind Mateta. He wasn't playing as a two next to Mateta. He was playing in that number 10 role. So it's going to be hard, but I just don't understand writing him off that quickly. Like, how many appearances has he even had for Palace since joining? He hasn't been the New Year's. Remember, Mateta, we was having conversations, and I don't know if you remember that video, Louis, and the chat as well, where I think it was Wilf that said, and got deleted afterwards in training, he can't even jump for the ball.
Yeah.
Like, this is the same Mateta, by the way, that there were talks about why can't he jump for the ball despite him being so tall. And look how he's transformed his Palace career. Why did he do that? Because he actually had a run of games. I remember there was a time where Edward was starting a few games and Mateta was dropped on the bench. Then Mateta will start. They'll both be hit and miss. But for me, Mateta had a run of games. He got his confidence back. He scored 1 or 2 goals, and that's where it kicked in. And I think it will be the same with Nketiah. The question is, will he get opportunity, and how will he get opportunity? I'm not too sure. It's just easy to write him off, man.
If you asked every single Palace fan, you have to start Nketiah and Kamada in one game out of the 38 this season, what team would you play and what ground would it be at? You'd say Southampton at home. Like, unless it's a Stockport County game or a other cup game, we're playing bottom of the league. And remember, Southampton have to win. They can't come here for a draw. Like, they have to win. They have to come out. Like, at some point, these players, and if they're playing rubbish, hook them off after 50 minutes. Hook them off after half time. Bring Eze and Mateta on. But at some point, other players have got to have a chance. I think even in the chat, most people are saying 100% players are the one that's playing, and no one can tell me Eze and Mateta are 100%. They will be if they get a rest and we play against Chelsea. They'll be 100% then.
Yeah, Twist is saying, so Nketiah was a club signing, not a Glasner signing. It feels like that way. I don't know. It's hard to say. No one can confirm or deny. Lacroix looks like a Glasner type of
Glasner.
signing because we
Yeah.
weren't really linked with Lacroix before Glasner joined the club. Same with Kamada. But Nketiah, we've been linked with him for ages. But that doesn't mean that Glasner didn't want Nketiah as well. Like, it's hard to say. End of the day, he was a signing. He was a signing. No one knows who wanted him more, whether it's a club or not. Maybe the club had Lacroix in the back of their head. I don't know. He wasn't mentioned into the public. So maybe he still was an option before Glasner. It's hard to say. It is hard to say.
But
Probably saying, I think Eddie got... Are you saying it?
Yeah, I was reading that and I was saying it's funny in football. Like sometimes you can think it was always the wrong decision in the first place. Like Smith Rowe had a good start to the season. I think Smith Rowe's a great player. I feel like he would have slotted in perfectly, but you never know what happens a year, 2 years down the line. All of a sudden, Eddie's doing better than Smith Rowe. Smith Rowe might become injury prone or get a bad injury. Then all of a sudden, everyone says, "Oh, that was the best decision. How did we should have put our faith in Dougie?" Sometimes just let football be football. Let it play out instead of being so reactionary against everything.
Yeah. Smith Rowe is playing in his normal position, and Nketiah isn't. I think that's a very good point as well.
He's injured at the moment again. He's injured again.
I was the one that's he's injured, isn't he? I was the one that was like, let's take the gamble because I think on his day he's a very good player, but then again he got injured. But then he was on a nice run of form before his injury. Just quickly in terms of injury news for Palace, Glasner on Will Hughes. This is all from Bobby Manzi. I said that he got a knock on his knee in the first half, and we talked about it at half time. He thought it would be okay when he was moving, but the pain was too much, so we had to take him off. Let's see, but of course he's questionable for Sunday. For me, I've had enough. Like, that's enough for me to say Hughes shouldn't start because he's not 100%. There's no way he can be 100%. He's questionable for Sunday. Mm-hmm. He's got that pain. Just let him rotate there. Here we go. Doucouré comes into the side, for example. You rotate there, for example. And then on a few other players, Chris Richards, he's confirmed that he's starting against Southampton.
In his preferred position.
He started against Arsenal. We conceded 5 goals, but I don't think it's down to Chris Richards. I think it's down to poor defending in the box. But he'll be starting in this game on the left-hand side in comparison to the right-hand side when he started ahead of Chalobah for Arsenal. Do you think that makes a difference?
Yeah, he's clearly always been better as a left centre-back. So I'm not too worried about him stepping in for Guéhi. I wish Guéhi would have got his ban against Chelsea and then missed the Stockport game. That probably would have worked out better. But we have to get used to not playing with Guéhi anyway. So I'm happy with Chris Richards. I'd go, me personally, like Richards, Lacroix, and Chalobah. Chalobah has been a bit so last game, but we should have enough to beat them anyway.
Has Chalobah been a bit so-so last game? Has he been a bit so-so at some games this season?
He's never really that bad. He's never.
I'm going to be honest.
He's never really. Yeah, he's never really been bad, but he's never been outstanding. He was really good against Brighton. I'd give him that. I feel like he was really good against Brighton. But
it was best game for us, and the second half of City game as well.
Yeah, but that Bournemouth game, it felt like he was stepping in at the wrong time. I feel like his quality on the ball wasn't very good, but then most of the team wasn't. So, I'm happy. It's a good loan signing. I'm just happy. I'm happy with his performances. Nothing outstanding, but nothing to be angry about.
Yeah, Tim saying Chalobah is just incredibly aggressive and makes mistakes as a result. Yeah, I think that could play a part as well. I mean, Lacroix made 1 or 2 mistakes by being aggressive, but then again, it seems like it's out of his game. With Chalobah, I just feel like he's just got it in him. And I spoke to a Chelsea fan, by the way, and he said that the reason why at Chelsea it worked out for him is because Thiago Silva was basically covering his back at all times. I'm not really surprised. So he's saying he does have these moments in him, which for me, other loan signings we've made, for example, Gallagher, Ruben Loftus-Cheek, etc. I've kind of said, yeah, man, I'd love him to stay at Palace, but with Chalobah, I don't know, it's like the first time in a loan signing, which I'm like, I don't know if I'd be too upset if we didn't sign him again.
But then also,
maybe that changes as the season goes on. Maybe that changes.
Yeah, because maybe one season under Glasner and he improves as a player, because that's what happens. Players play under managers who they enjoy playing under, who they respect. The manager has faith in them, and then all of a sudden you got a much improved player. And anyway, if you gave us 9 out of 10 every week, he'd cost even more. So maybe we need a few 5 out of 10s, 4 out of 10s, get that price down.
Yeah, to get the price down. But I wonder if Palace would be willing to spend the money on Chalobah. Because I think centre backs is a bit more easier to find replacements for than like number 10s or strikers, etc. Especially today's market. So I don't know. We'll see, I guess, as time goes by. We spoke about rotation, other injury news as well. So Chris Richards is starting. That was confirmed by Glasner. And then about Tyrick Mitchell, he said the following. I think this is what we have to accept. Tyrick Mitchell will never be a Danny Munoz because he's just different. Danny has this natural skill, this attacking way, and this running and always being there. Ty comes more from the defending part. I think he's already improved in his attacking game, but again, he has the potential within this, but he's very, very consistent in defending. Glasner basically saying what you're saying, and a lot of Palace fans are saying that, you know, he's very consistent defensively, but he'll never be a Danny Munoz, regardless of him improving there. And it's not a bad thing for Glasner to say, but it's not a good thing for us to have, in my opinion, when you play 5 at the back and you need your wing backs. Because yes, it's nice to have the defensive ability, but he's basically saying like he won't be able to offer us an attack as much as Danny Munoz, which shows of a reason why a left wing back needs to be up there as the 2 priorities for me in this upcoming January transfer window. But for this game, you can't really rotate him, can you?
No.
Like that's the problem that we've had. And he's already made 165 appearances for Palace, which I don't know if it is a lot, isn't it?
He's probably in the top 10 most.
I think top 11. Well, 11.
Yeah.
He's 3 behind. I forgot who it was to go into the top 10. He's only 24, 25 now. Which is
he's only played 4 seasons as well. He plays 35 games a season.
And we have cup games as well. So it's like he never really gets the opportunity. But then again, I mean, let's see who we bring in. A
quick thing on Mitchell, like I'm a Mitchell fan. Like I love Tyrick Mitchell. I think being a player in the Premier League and being available every week is an underrated asset. You see how many muscular injuries people get. He's there every week. I don't ever think he doesn't give 100%. I think he lets his confidence, when his confidence is low, it can affect him a lot. But he deserves a lot of plaudits, but he is really frustrating to watch. And it's not his fault because the system is not suited to him most games. So I feel like giving him harsh critique can be like, I feel bad a bit because like he's such a good servant to the team. But
yeah, and he's good. He's not a bad player.
He's really good defensively, but when our attacks break down so badly sometimes, and playing out from the back can be horrible sometimes. And I feel sorry for him. I do feel sorry for him.
The problem with Mitchell is that if he's a fullback, we've seen him as a fullback, it's different to him as a wingback. He's expected to offer something in attack. There's lots of eyes on him because of the system that we play, and he simply can't do that. He can't. And that's where the problem lies. And that's why a lot of people look at him saying, oh, like, a lot of eyes are on him, just like a lot of eyes on Danny Munoz, because that's our width. Our width are the wing back. So yeah, I do think he's still a good player, but he just doesn't suit Glasner's system. And last year, it did help Eze, for example, when Tyrick was getting involved, when Glasner first got involved with the football club. But now, as things have stabilized and he's kind of struggling a bit more in attack, saying that he's still got assists this season. But you just know it's not just about assists. You just know when a player is like comfortable on the ball, and you can tell that teams want him to get on the ball, which is never a good sign. Like you don't want a team to target him and say, get on the ball.
Do you know what it reminds me of? You know, if you ever played 7-a-side football and someone gets the ball and someone says on his touch.
Yeah.
On his touch. That's what it feels like the opposition are doing when
he's still young, by the way. He's still like 24, 25. He's not like an old player.
Listen,
but there's a question and there's a statement from Mike. Mike said Mitchell has improved so much, and then Mitchell's solid. He's underrated, says Tim. Twist is saying, would you sell Mitchell?
No. You need to. This is what I'm saying. I'm such an advocate for two wing backs either side because you need different player profiles for either side. Munoz is going to bomb on. He's going to get in attacking situations. He's going to press their fullback. But if we're being honest, Munoz is he's a bit of a dud 1v1s. I've seen him be done many, many a time. Tyreek doesn't get... Saka has problems getting past Mitchell. I've seen Salah struggle past Mitchell. Semenyo couldn't get past Mitchell. But it's just like chalk and cheese. You need the two different profiles. You need an attacking left wing back, someone who you can bring on who might be a bit more defensive. Same way Munoz, bring him off, you put a more defensive right wing back on. You need a mix of both. Tyreek should not be sold. Tyreek should end up with 300, 400 Palace appearances because he's not a top 6 left back, wing back. He's a mid-table Premier League solid player. So he should be, this is where he should be. This is his home.
I think he improves, by the way, when we bring in a wing back. I think naturally he will learn from that wing back, especially if they have more of an attacking profile, and that competition will improve him. So I don't think we've seen the best of Mitchell yet. I think there is still another level, but I agree it's going to be hard for him to be top 6.
Remember, he came up.
I want to sell him. There's no point. Why would you sell Mitchell?
Mitchell came through to the first team with Wilf in front of him. And one thing you don't need to do with Wilf is attack. All Mitchell had to do is get the ball, give it to Wilf as quick as possible, offer an option back and defend. Like that was his job because Wilf could take on... Teams had to put 3 players on Wilf because Wilf could get past 2 players. So Mitchell's job was so much easier. All he had to do was defend. He's been asked to do a lot more, which is harsh on him. But then again, we're still all Palace fans and we want a team to do well. And if we can see that Mitchell's a problem, it's going to be frustrating.
My thoughts on a wing back in this system is that I'd rather my wing back be like a Munoz than a Mitchell.
Yeah.
Because that's why you have 3 centre backs there. So like Munoz, by the way, if he played in the back 4, I guess he'll get a bit more exposed and more talks will be had on him. But he's not a bad defender, but he's not a great defender. So yeah, I do think we just need more of an attacking profile, which we can see with Munoz. He offers that. But Mitchell's game is it's not like, oh, we're bringing a wing back, then we sell Mitchell. No, we still need Mitchell there. That's our problem. He hasn't had cover. We need both. We need 2 good young wing backs or left backs going at it. We just haven't had that. Mitchell throughout his career has just been Mitchell. Van Aanholt was there at some point, but he went, and
even Bournemouth yesterday, they haven't played Max Aarons in weeks. They bring on this fullback that we would happily take Max Aarons.
Yeah, exactly.
We've been after Max Aarons for how long? Max Aarons hasn't had a game in months, and they've just got these fullbacks. Then Lewis Cook can go to fullback, but then again they play 4 at the back, so it's a different system.
But that's
I don't want to keep comparing us to other teams.
Bench compared to our bench, you can already see like we still got Wardy on the bench, we got Slup on the bench, we got players on the bench that are still on the bench till this day that are there for the sake of it rather than adding quality. That's the problem that we have. We have 100% improved though, because it used to be much worse than this. But we still need to, and I think with players coming back, by the way, Walton coming back, Franca, we'll see if that ever happens. But if he comes back, that bench will improve. But then again, the squad, we just need to start getting rid of players that are there for the sake of it. That's the thing that annoys me the most because I know when Glasner brings on Schlupp, I want to go home. Or I want to turn off the TV. Because
even if we're winning, I want to turn
the game's done. He's just admitting defeat. He's not going to... Schlupp is not like... Maybe he has that odd goal against Fulham, for example, that he had last season. But he can't even play 90 minutes of football, man. What do you expect from a guy who can't play 90 minutes of football? So we still have those players that we need to move on from, to be fair. But should we move on to score predictions?
Yeah, go on, let's do it. Everyone put your score predictions in the chat as well.
How you feeling? You can start off.
I'm going to go for a 2-0 scrappy win. We'll get a goal. It'll be nervy. We'll get another one. I'll say 2-0.
I'm going to go for 2-1 Palace. I think we'll score 2. Then we might concede 1. But yeah, we should be beating them. We should be beating Southampton. But most importantly, next week, well, no, we can say next week, Wednesday, but the Wednesday coming up, that's when the window opens. I want Palace to be active. We need to start being active. Glasner's called out the board a few times already. He said that
I want someone holding the shirt up at Chelsea at halftime. That's what I want to.
Time. You know, Brighton, they
Half-time.
signed a player. When was that the game? I didn't realize, but they signed a player and he came on before the game.
You can sign players outside of the window. They just, you know, you can. Everyone knows.
Yeah,
this.
you can. It's just the thing is they can't get registered to
Yeah.
the 1st of Jan. That's the problem. Like they can't play, but you can technically sign a player. 2-1 Palace says Twisted. Boom saying 2-0 Palace, 1-0 to us, 1-0 Palace. Schlupp scores a winner off the bench. 3-0, 3-0, 3-4-0. I'm seeing lots of nils.
Yeah.
Hopefully we keep a clean sheet. Where's it said 3-1, 5-0. Everyone's confident. That's how it should be, man. Everyone's confident. And yeah, I think we will get the win. We should get the win. And it'll be nice to keep another clean sheet because defensively, it was better against Bournemouth. I know they had a few chances. I know individuals could have done a bit better in certain situations, but better, much better at defending in the box because the Arsenal game, oh my days, that was that was something else. I had like 6 shots on target, 5 goals. Like I couldn't believe my eyes. But yeah, let's go back to being solid defensively. We kept the clean sheet against Bournemouth away from home. That should be the standards that we should have even in this game with Southampton at home. Yes, they've scored goals against Liverpool and a few other teams, but yeah, without Gahey, Richards should still do a solid enough job. 1-0. Just give me any kind of win. Give me any kind of win. And the most important thing is, come 1st of January, I want to be here every single day, live at 5 p.m. talking about Palace news. Yeah, I want to do that. I don't want to be like, hold up, there's no news. There's nothing. I don't want to. We can't have that. We can't afford that. So that's a positive. We'll be having Palace news back. And the most important thing is, people, Palace news will be coming back soon. And then the schedule returns to normal. So hopefully the player ratings, the opposition previews, the general content, we could go back to normal ways because it's just been hectic with the holiday season. A lot of people are busy. So yeah. But I appreciate you all tuning in anyways. I'm going to go for 1-0 Palace. No, 2-1, I said. But it could be 1-0 now that I said that. I'm going to go for 2-1 Palace. But give me a win. Give me a win. That's all I care about. Tim saying, don't be surprised if we sign SC. But I can't say anything yet. Working out whether there's loan back deal. Steven saying, got a feeling we need to win. We need 3 to win. I think Mark Gay's importance to our defense is not appreciated enough. Then again, it's still, with all due respect, Southampton. They have great chances, to be fair. They have great chances. Just defensively, they've been absolutely terrible, especially under Russell Martin, because they just kept giving away the ball, thinking they're Barcelona, and he ended up getting sacked because, you're not that team. Steven saying 4-2. I haven't seen one single draw or one single defeat. So that's the spirit that we want to be in around these times. But look, people, we're going to wrap it up. If you have enjoyed it, leave a like, subscribe, and let us know, most importantly, your thoughts in the comment section down below, because that also helps the algorithm and helps share the channel and helps us grow the channel. So thank you to all of you that's tuned in live. Thank you to all of you that's watching a replay. That's it from us. And until next time, up the Palace.